Good morning. It's the first time we said that. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks Pregame Podcast. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen and Mario Tirabassi. Thanks for being with us. We always appreciate you. Smash that like button for us. Subscribe to the YouTube page. All that fun stuff.
Jay,
and tell a friend.
I'm glad you're not one of those people that's like, good morning. Oh, come on. We can do better than that. Good morning.
Oh, my God. Hell no.
Just go away.
Those are the
I
worst.
hate that.
If your response is, read the room, pal.
Yeah.
Shut up. No one likes
No
you.
one's ready to say good morning.
Exactly. Well, thanks for being here. We got a lot to get to in a short amount of time, so why don't we kick the show off? Luke Richardson spoke about an hour ago to tell you what's going on in this game. We'll tell you real quick. Taylor Hall's out. Andreas Athanasiou's out. We'll update the lines after we hear from Luke. But here is Luke Richardson.
Fresh out of the gym.
Yeah, right out of the gym this morning.
It's been loss, win, loss, win, loss, win the last couple of weeks here. How eager are you to get some kind of positive momentum built?
It'd be great, and it'd be a big feat on the road against a team that's playing really well. So we played them last week, so that gives us some really good intel on how how to prepare for them. I thought we had a really good start last game, obviously against them, and we're going to need that again today. But really focus on a 60-minute team effort because of some changes in the lineup.
I know Arvid Soderblom doesn't have a ton of wins since you've been here, but it feels like he's been playing well in some of the starts. How difficult is it for him mentally to kind of feel like he is doing the right things, but not having a ton to show for it in the win column?
Yeah, and that's just happens sometimes, and we've told him that he's played great, and we got to get him some more goal support, and that's definitely the game plan. He had a really big win in Toronto there, and we want to play a little bit of a tight game like that on the road tonight again, and give him that goal support that he deserves. He's given us a chance in all the games, so we want to make sure we help him out as well. But I think just like anybody, he's competitive and he wants to see the results in the standings for the team and for himself, and we got to try and help him out there.
You can see the difference when you had Taylor Hall back in, but now you're going to be going without Hall and Athanasiou, how the forward's going to adjust.
Yeah, I thought Taylor played excellent last game, really driven and really strong, and unfortunately just banged up a bit and hopefully not too long. So we'll miss him tonight, but that's always the challenges in 82 games. You're never going to have the same lineup every 82 games. So I think this will show if we can show some growth in our depth as we're moving forward here, and I think that's going to be huge for us. And we've done it before, so we have to really step up. Like we are trying to get something going here consecutively, and that would be a really positive for this team if we could do it, even without a few key guys.
That is Luke Richardson, and yeah, that's kind of the thing is that we've seen these good performances, and there's been this pattern this year where they have a shit performance followed by a good one, and then the next one they usually lose. It's this up down,
Yeah.
win loss, win loss, win loss. I know they're up against it today. They're certainly outclassed in terms of talent in this game, especially with Hall and Athanasiou out. But boy, getting a couple in a row, I think that would go. I mean, they're close to 500. Which is crazy to think when you look at the way this schedule was when this season started, that they're within 2 games of 500 is pretty remarkable.
They're as close to last place in the league as they are to the wild card in the Western Conference right now. Yeah. So it's one of those weird spots, but it's early hockey. But yeah, you want to see some consistency, and as far-fetched as it may have sounded a couple of days ago to say, oh, you might find some consistency against Tampa and Florida. They have an opportunity after winning Thursday's game. So I would like to see some of that carry over to today's game. It's going to be tough. You got Sergei Bobrovsky in net on the other side. Sam Bennett is coming back to the Panthers as well, so that's going to be another a wrinkle to the game to take notice of. But with some guys out, some guys have an opportunity to get into the lineup, make an impact. I know it's down the lineup with Tkachuk and Reese Johnson back in on the fourth line, but would love to see them step in and take advantage of the opportunity that they get to be in the lineup, and just see what you can do. And it's it's a funky day, noon start Central Time, 1:00 Eastern Time. So you wake up, you go to the rink, you get your routine started, and you play hockey. You get right to it. You don't have a full day to kind of wait around. You just jump right in. Hopefully they start right on time.
Yeah, I saw Luke. I can't remember when exactly he said it, but he said he kind of likes that because it can be a bit of a bummer. You have the morning skate, and then you just sit around all day waiting for the game to start.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a little bit of a jump here on these early games.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for the Hawks with, Hall and Athanasiou out. Those are two drivers of your offense. Say what you want about Athanasiou's ability or lack thereof to finish, but he still creates plays.
He does,
with his speed. Not having that there. Obviously, Taylor Hall, since coming back from the last injury, was good. 2 goals in back-to-back games. Very effective defensively, too. I think very underrated defensively. I mean, I'm not someone who's watched a whole lot of Taylor Hall closely until this season, but the way he was playing, causing turnovers, lifting sticks, it was very impressive. So you're missing those two guys out. This was a team you beat, a week ago? Less than a week ago?
Yeah. At our takeover.
But you jumped on them early. Their backup goalie was playing. It wasn't Bobrovsky. You jumped on them early, and then you had to hold on for dear life. Like, you won that game because you played the best first period of the season, and then you hung on for dear life, and Peter Mrazek saved your ass. So you got to – they showed us what they could do when they play a full 60 minutes in Tampa. They got to have that same effort plus more because of what you're missing. We can go through the lines now, but there's not a lot of depth on this line right now. And
if there's a game to load up your top line, maybe today's the day you do it.
You're playing your, quote, backup goalie today, too, in Soderblom, not Mrazek.
I mean, we'll get to it, but let's get that after we do the lineups. But he's not been great this year either.
No.
So your top line is Bedard centering Foligno and Kurashev, Dickinson centering Reichel and Radish, Donato centering Tyler Johnson and Corey Perry, and Entwistle centering Kachuk and Reese Johnson. Your D pairs, Vlasic and Jones, Korchinski and Murphy, Kaiser and Zaitsev. Jared Tenorti went to IR yesterday with a oblique injury. And they called up Isaac Phillips, but they're going to put Zaitsev in there today.
I think Phillips, they said, arrived at like midnight.
Yeah.
So
no
way
he's going
to turn around and play.
No.
He's been okay in the games he's played. He hasn't been horrible. He's been fine. So I'm fine with it. Plus it puts Kaiser on the left side, which I like.
Sure.
And Soderblom in goal. So there's your lines for today. But Soderblom, we got to, I mean, it has been a rough ride for him. And he started off really good. And it's just been, there have been too many goals that go in that you say, he probably should have had that one. Or could have had that one. Maybe it's more fair.
Yeah, there have been a couple goals that he's given up this year. And, even looking back to last year where you'd say, you like to have that one back. But it does seem like there is a trend of a lot of times the Blackhawks play some pretty poor games in front of him. So I think that's something that Luke Richardson has said before, that they kind of owe, coming into this season, regarding last year, he said we owe him some games. And I think this would be a game to maybe give him a pretty good effort to kind of bounce back from his last start. I'd like to see that. Now with Zaitsev in, Tenorti out, you change up the defense a little bit, but I would like to think that you have enough in your top 4 guys that you can at least handle the Panthers a little bit better this time around. Hopefully Seth Jones in back-to-back games doesn't have to play 30 minutes, but if he does, you know that he can. So it'll be interesting to see. And Soderblom, if he can himself have a good game outside of the team in front of him, that'd be a confidence booster, especially after the last performance he had and seeing how Mrazek has been playing. If Soderblom can get going too, then you have a tandem that you can trust.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference between Mrazek and Soderblom this year is Mrazek has been able to make that big save in a big moment, and Soderblom just hasn't.
Yes.
There's been a lot where you're like, God, like you said, Jay, like, dude, you got to have that one.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it wasn't the easiest shot in the world, but if you want to stick around in this league, you got to make that save.
Well, I'm looking at natural stat trick here, and Obviously, you go through the standard numbers. Mrazek's goals against is 2.67. Soderblom is 3.98. Goal save percentage from Mrazek is 0.926. Soderblom 0.889. Goals saved above average. Early in the year, both Mrazek and Soderblom are in the top half of the league.
Yeah.
Mrazek plus 2.86 goals saved above average. Soderblom minus 2.86 goals saved above average.
It evens out.
That's crazy that they're the same number, positive and negative.
Exactly apart. Yeah. Well,
so I guess as a tandem, they're perfectly average.
Yes.
yeah. That's
The Blackhawks have average goaltending.
just as the Blackhawks are up and down, Mrazek and Soderblom are up
Yeah,
and
it'd be
down.
nice to see Soderblom get a good game because I know, having watched him as much as I did when he was in Rockford, he has the capability of carrying a team and stealing games. He just really hasn't shown it consistently at this level.
In fairness, too, like this team does get peppered with shots. Even in games they win, they're being massively outshot.
But he was
Yeah, they
used to
get
that in
outshot,
Rockford, though. In
outshot.
Yeah.
Rockford, he was making, I think, his second full season in Rockford, he averaged 36 saves a night.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
He was constantly facing so many games where the Ice Hogs would get outshot 43-16, but they won 2-1.
But it's Jack Drury shooting on you and not Connor McDavid
Right.
shooting on
Yeah,
you.
there's a
Good
difference.
pull.
Yeah.
Yeah, random AHL player.
There's a difference.
Yeah, so I don't know. I hope he does better. I know he's better than he's played. We have seen him play better than he's played. But this would be a really good opportunity for him to step up, kind of get back in the good graces, because as we talk coming into the season about, you're probably looking at a 50-50 split in goal, and that's what they've done so far. If Mrazek keeps playing like this, like he's just going to be the guy.
He'll get the majority.
And
yeah.
it's going to be 3 out of 4 from Mrazek instead of 2 out of 3 or 1 and 1.
Which I guess, if Mrazek is playing well, that's okay, because there's still a lot of belief from the organization in Soderblom. He's 24, I think. So he's still very young.
Yeah.
Still, getting into his development path as a goaltender. But yeah, I mean, you'd love to see more out of him consistently because of that belief. You want to see it kind of come to fruition on the ice and say, oh, okay, Soderblom is a guy that's going to be here in the NHL for the next couple of years to come, as guys like Drew Comezzo and Jackson Stauber and Adam Guyon, as they develop and come through the organization. You also want to see Soderblom be there too.
Dave says in the chat, both goalies will regress to the mean. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of at the mean as a combo right now.
If they both play,
if
they both have 0 at the goal saved above expected, it would make no difference, but it would look different.
I just hope that we know that Mrazek is going to be the guy he's been so far. He's elite right now.
Right, yeah.
0.926 save percentage. That's not sustainable for him, especially on this team.
It'd be nice if it was.
That would be great. Gives him a nice trade chip. All right, we got 4 minutes till you got something?
Speaking of goalies, just
Yes.
a nice time to remind everybody. Tuesday at
Oh, yeah.
2:30,
Yes.
Blackhawks top goaltending prospect Drew Comezzo joining the show. So
It'd be fun.
just a reminder for
My
you.
first time hearing about this,
Well,
guys.
Well,
maybe
you
if
weren't here last
don't
you
take
know,
days off.
Yeah.
stop going to help those Bears guys, you would know these things.
God knows the Bears don't have any resources. Speaking of that, their show Sunday at Uncle Bud's, their broadcast next Sunday. Uncle Bud's is owned by my cousin and uncle.
Hey.
So go out to Uncle Bud's in Oak Lawn for the
I can't. We have
the
a
Bears
game.
watch party. I'll be there a little bit because it's a night game, right? Sunday?
6
Game
o'clock
Sunday?
Game, yes. Buffalo.
6, yeah.
The
So
Buffaloes.
I'll be there from noon to 1 eating some wings, and then I'll head to work.
Power hour for wings.
I
Yeah.
look forward to sitting next to you in the press box.
All right, let's do Who's Your Hawk before we get to the game here.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea who won the last two.
I did.
Mario won.
All right, Mario.
If
so
in
I did.
doubt.
so this total is a
I'm on a
little
heat-
off.
I'm on
then.
a heater.
It should be 7 wins.
Yeah, Mario
for
is
Mario
7
now.
wins.
It is 7. for
Sure
Mario.
is.
We'll get that fixed for the post game.
Yeah, we'll make sure we get right on that.
We'll put a 4 next to
Well,
me.
I have first pick again, and I need to get on the board here, so I'm going with Connor Bedard. He had 4 points in the last game, so I'd bet everything you own on a pointless game for Connor Bedard today.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that every time we pick him, nothing big
I know.
happens, and
Yeah.
then when none of us picks him, that's when he scores.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm going to go with the half a game player Seth Jones. I just have a feeling he's got something cooking today. Ben Pope wrote a in-depth article on him, so now he's going to do something good.
You know what? It's not a bad pick because I do believe he's been picked twice this season, and both times he's won.
I think so.
You won one with him,
I did
and
once.
I won one
Yep.
with him. So he's undefeated in Who's Your Hawk.
Let's make it 3 for 3.
I thought way too hard on my pick. Foligno was my first notion. I had second pick. But I was like, man, maybe one of the defensemen, Korchinski scored last game. Maybe he's going to get some confidence. I thought about picking Jones. I thought about picking Lukas Reichel because at some point he has to score a goal, right?
Some point he has to.
But then I went with Foligno, figuring, you know what, maybe this would be, Bedard's feeling the assists. Maybe he's just going to pass like six pucks over to Foligno and he knocks home 4 of them.
He served up a pretty good pass to Bedard in the last game, so maybe he'll get rewarded.
Yeah, return the favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys saw the Bedard pass that Buccigross put out, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, yeah, we saw it
Unreal.
because it was in the game. But yeah, the
I
break.
didn't notice it in the game.
I didn't notice it in the game either. I didn't even notice it in the replay until I saw the isolated, like, this is how he played that puck on Kucherov. It was nuts. If you haven't seen it,
retweeted it if you want to
go back and look
he basically
at it.
takes his stick blade, turns it upside down so the toe of the blade is on the ice, and just pokes it backhand right on Nick Foligno's stick.
He did something like that in the preseason in a defensive play, and it was like, blew my mind.
Yeah.
And then he does it in another similar situation, but it creates a goal off the play.
Against Nikita Kucherov.
Right.
Like
it's
to
insane.
think you can do that and then pull it off in a split second it's just
Right, because it's so much less surface space to make a play, and if you miss, Kucherov's got the puck going the other direction.
And it's on the money, and he knows he made it.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he puts the pass behind him, he takes off for the offensive zone.
It's crazy.
Unreal. Guy, he's good. This just in. There's our analysis for the game. Connor Bedard is good. All right, we'll talk to you as soon as the final horn sounds.
Oh, we have
Got
one
a super chat here.
Super chat in the pregame.
199 from Alton V says Greg always has the best shirts. That's true. Sometimes I will be doing the show and talking to Greg, and I start looking at his shirt, and I'm like,
Is that
trying to find all the patterns
it
and
kinda
stuff.
creeps me out when you
Is
do
that Sex Panther?
It is. This shirt's called Sex Panthers. So they're playing the Panthers. It was the
Perfect.
That makes sense.
60% of the time.
And RJK says if Zaitsev scores again, I will $50 super chat in the
All right.
post game
Hey,
show.
We've
there
got
you go.
screenshots.
Yep.
We're gonna hold
come
you to
find
that.
You got over 100 witnesses as well.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. We'll talk to everybody when the game ends. Thanks for being here with the pregame show. We'll talk to you then on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.